Hello everyone, this is Nikki Yu, also known as Faces Trader, and this September, we're going to talk about the Philippine market update. Magtatagalog na rin ako for the benefit of the Filipinos who want to listen in Tagalog. So let's go. The Philippine market, 6,785, down 69 points, down 1%, and yet there are so many winners out here. So let's take a look one by one amongst the index first, and then a few selected names that we like. Market value is now 7.6 billion pesos, quite high. You are seeing that majority of the biggest movers today is first gen, 13.6%. There is a tender offer happening on FGen. Those who have FGen shares can actually sell it 33% higher. So this rallied before the close, and then it's gonna resume at a 33% higher price. So there's a tender offer for a first gen. Let's take a look on the other gainers. Converge, 3% up. BDO, 3% up. ASEN, continuous higher, now nearing 10 pesos, 3% up. Who are the losers? We've got some losers on URC, 4.5% down. Initially, it was up actually. JG Summit down 4%, JFC down 3%. We might see some trading action even on the bigger names that fell down. So let's take a look first on the index movers. Let's just read through it. BDO is now trading 113 pesos. First Gen, 32.15 pesos. AEV, 43.75. ASEN 986, Converge 32, Globe 2,760, PLDT 1479, San Miguel Corporation 109, Meralco 285, Abotiz Power 28.4, GT Capital 545 pesos, Megaworld 285, MPI 387, Metrobank 4525. In the Bloomberry side, down 5.9. Pure Gold is now trading 41.65. Luciatan Group 851. AGI 10.26. Security Bank 112. Robinsons Retail still 50 bucks. Robinsons Land 16.2. Ayala Corporation 788. BPI 82.3. Jollibee 195. Ayala Land 33. SM Prime 33.4. ICT 180. URC 144. JJ Summit 62. SM 985. In your top traded names, let's take a look at that. Top traded names, ASEN and Converge. You could see that ASEN trades 9.86, Converge 32. So these strong names are actually lifting up your index because ASEN and Converge are, of course, index constituents nowadays and still trading at all-time highs. URC 144. Now, what else is the huge runners and big winners? Globe 2,760, up 1.4%, still actually near at all-time high zone. PLDT up 1%, 1480, as people are trying to assume that if Filipinos will need internet, they will actually consume better broadband connectivity from Globe, PLDT, Converge. In a certain sense, even Dito Telecom, you could see Dito Telecom right now being at 8.39, also up 1%. So the biggest losers for the Philippine market, quite a few. The loser is just down 4%. You can see URC, but it's still up. Actually, 144 is still strong in terms of the price action. That's just profit taking. Take note as well, there's just some profit taking on your Monde Denison. So your consumer staples like URC and Monde are still fine. You could see that the biggest gainer is this one, FGen. There's news on that. Semirara up 6%, 18 pesos. We're also seeing the strength of Abotiz Ventures, Abotiz Power, so the union banks. So we saw that the earnings have been very good for the Aboitises, and the market is really paying up for the premium. So let's take a look on these charts one by one. So you could see here in our Awesome 10X that we've made deep dives for your Abotiz Power and AEV. We're very positive on those. So let's just focus on seeing how high can they go further and how low can they go down if they ever fall. So one by one, you could see that charts tayo for Abotiz Power. Okay, so Abotiz Power is a balancing act for the Philippine economy for the renewable power. 50-50 is their goal. 50% coal, 50% renewable. But so far, it's not yet 50-50. So I think right now it's still 80-20. 80% coal, 20% renewable. Renewable meaning hydro, wind, solar, geothermal, and all those. Okay, so Abotiz Power right now trading 28 pesos. The recent high is about 30.2, and after that it's 32. So we are still seeing that it is still below the pandemic. Could see that in February 2020, Abotiz Power was trading at 32 pesos. So from a low of 20 to a high of 32, yes, that is a 60% pop. But we do believe that Abotiz Power has more than enough reason to go higher and go back to pre-pandemic levels. So going back to 32 after a 200% growth in Abotiz Power, check out our deep dive on AP. Still looking further up. So any drops here about 27 or 26 will still have a lot of buying pressure on Abotiz Power. Now, AEV, let's take a look on that. AEV is the conglomerate that owns Abotiz Power and owns Union Bank. So all of the units are doing well pre-pandemic. They're actually already up more than triple-digit growth in net income. So let's take a look at the February 2020. This is where your Aboitiz Equity Ventures traded at, which was about 50 pesos to 52. You could still see at least a 20% pop on Aboitiz Equity Ventures from that pandemic area of about 51. So that's your initial target for your Aboitiz Equity Ventures. And then further growth, perhaps any rallies would have some resistance. But then I think there will be a lot of supports. For now, Aboitiz Equity Ventures is on the uptrend with a lot of buyers definitely at 41, 42, even at today's price of 43. You could see that the people who accumulated at 35 are still probably going to hold on to their Aboitiz Equity shares. And the first resistance is for perhaps 50, 51. And then another resistance here at 55. And then after 55, as high as 60 to 70. So let's take a look first on the short-term resistances. 50 to 55 resistance for Aboitiz. That is a huge range for your Aboitiz. You could make about 20% from Aboitiz Equity Ventures. Now, Union Bank, let's take a look at that. The proponents of the Philippine play-to-earn economy are all using cryptocurrency tokens, and they are valuing and cashing out through source moves like banks like Union Bank. So some of them are also cashing out through other Filipinos, peer-to-peer, GCash, Union Bank, ING. Those are the definitive use cases being where Union Bank has been clearly getting a lot of deposits and a lot of clientele. You could see this Aboitiz run-up has already ran 76 to 88. But looks like this is going to go not just about the 2018 highs, could actually even go higher given the increase in asset base and increase in user growth. So we are seeing that this first resistance is 92. Never have seen that since the 2018 crisis, 2018 drop. So you could see that it has surpassed their 2020 levels easily. 52, can it go to 100 peso? We'll see, but the market is very bullish. So any drops of Union Bank has a definitive buyer now, higher lows here at about 80 pesos, 80 pesos and even 84 pesos. So a lot of support happening for your Union Bank here. What is the market cap of Union Bank and what is the book value of Union Bank? Why don't we do that? Let's explore it. Union Bank, Union Bank of the Philippines, Investors Relations, Union Bank. Okay, so let's take a look on their disclosures. Okay. 5-year financial highlights, analyst briefing. Okay. In the last 5 years, how much did the bank pay as a dividend, given that they are doing so well in their business units, specifically Aboitiz Power and Union Bank? InstaPay transfer, funds without an account number. They have been doing well on digital banking. This is the primary use case. During the pandemic, everyone was paying people online, and Union Bank was well equipped for that. So they are doing well. Union Bank is bagging the top awards from International Banker, Best Innovation in Retail Banking, Philippines. Okay, we agree? I would agree. Okay, let's see. I would assume massive influx of total deposits inside Union Bank. News. Okay, let's just read their earnings. Union Bank earnings report for their first quarter 2021. Okay, here, let's just read this. Union Bank first quarter net income is up 79% year on year. Where is that? Where was that? Post higher net profit in the first semester. So their net income surged by 94%, served by higher earnings from their core business. So that's good. They're doing something like a BDO move wherein people are getting higher total asset deposits, and people who didn't have an asset before actually opened a lot of Union Bank because availing for their crypto P2P transfers, basically peer-to-peer transfers via Binance. Wait up, I'm still trying to log in to the Union Bank. You can see Union Bank starts the year strong. Quarter one profit is surging to 4.7 billion pesos. Let's read this. Union Bank grew its first quarter net income by 79% year-on-year to 4.7. This puts us on track to achieve our 2021 targets. Union Bank Chief Financial Officer Jose Emmanuel Hilado is saying, we're starting with strong capital ratios, better margins, improving credit risk. Net revenues went up 50% year-on-year to 14.3 billion pesos. Net interest income increased by 6% to 7.2 billion despite the muted credit demand, as the bank has expanded the source of low-cost funding. Low-cost deposits grew 29% year-on-year. High-cost deposits went down by 22%. Total loans and receivables went down by 12% to 345 billion due to weak demand for corporate loans. On the other hand, non-interest income reached 7.1 billion pesos, 2.6 times larger than level last year, mainly driven by trading gains. Okay, so I'd like to see further investor presentation. 25. Okay, they didn't update it. Anton, it's here, 2021. Second quarter 2021. Public version. Okay. Okay, so did they allocate any dividends? You could see that their operating income did not allocate any dividends. So it seems like this bank has not been giving any dividends, or is it? Okay, pleased with the bank's first quarter. They didn't actually talk about how people were using the bank for cryptocurrency transfers, but primarily that's what I would assume it's been growing from. Pleased with the bank's first quarter results. You could see that they've now onboarded more than 470,000 new digital customers in the first quarter alone. So these digital customers, in my view, is going to go 1 million to 2 million. And as of the end of 2021, 2.4 million customers are using our app. Digital transactions are averaging 6 million per month, with Union Bank ranking among the top banks in terms of PesoNet and InstaPay transaction. Guys, that's the GCash version for Union Bank, wherein you can actually send 1 million, 1.5 million, larger deposits to peer-to-peer, which are Union Bank accounts. This digital shift motivates us to continue enhancing features across our digital platform. We recently launched InstaPay 2.0, enabling fund transfers, inputting mobile number or email address. Also, small businesses can now open their business accounts, perform banking transactions digitally with the launch for SME Business Banking app. President and CEO Edwin Bautista. Yes, I would agree for this. So let's just read through some numbers. How much is the market cap of Union Bank today? To do that, it's an easy way. You just go to analytics. Yes, I'm using WealthSec. And then here you go to the bank's financials. You go to the volume, go to the shares, market caps. Okay, so your BDO, BPI, Metro Bank are still the top three. Top four, Union Bank, 108 billion. They've got 350 billion pesos worth of total loans. How much is their balance sheet? What we want to know is the assets. How much capitalization does Union Bank have? So if they're earning something like 5 to 10 billion a year, so you're seeing that the bank is trading very well at low fundamental pricing, no? Price to book, let's see. Okay, so price to book ratio, Union Bank is trading at 1x price to book, meaning they've got 100 billion pesos and they're also trading with a book value of 100 billion. Okay, book value per share is 85 pesos. The other ones that are trading at a premium is BDO at 93, 1.2, BPI 1.3 price to book. You're seeing Metro Bank is still half still getting not valued correctly. Your Metro Bank is still 0.65. Take note as well, PNB and East West are still trading at very low price to book valuations. This is zero point 0.2 and 0.35. So I think that what PNB and East West have to do is beef up on their digital banking, because at some point in time, the investors and the depositors want a bank that they can easily deposit and withdraw from. And we can see clearly that the winners that the market knows is Union Bank, BDO, and BPI. I myself is using predominantly these top three banks: BPI, BDO, Union Bank. Okay, so let's take a look further on the Philippine market. We saw that the movement of the Philippine play-to-earn economy. And in the Philippine play-to-earn economy, obviously you need better internet. So let's read the Converge earnings results, the PLDT earnings results, and the Globe earnings results. Actually, you can see it already here, just in the search bar. Diba? Here, Converge sustaining strong growth in first half 2021. Then you can go to the investors relations, diba? So let's just read through it. This is your Converge team. Converge says it doesn't see any slowdown in growth as the net income from January to June matches the entire level for 2020. Listed fiber broadband provider Converge sustained a strong growth, zooming 158% growth to 3.25 billion pesos. Converge presented their first semester earnings, net income reaching full year profits in just first half. Revenues are already hitting 11 billion pesos from January to June, an 82% growth from 2020 figures. Residential business continued to drive up the top line to 10 billion pesos, doubling from the same period a year ago. This means that the company has already activated their backbone nationwide, launching commercially in Visayas and Mindanao. Converge says they're reaching new residential subscribers with a record high of 173,000, bringing their total to 1.36 million households for the second quarter. As if they could sustain, they say that the firm is not seeing any slowdown. EBITDA could further improve to about 6.5 billion pesos. Margins, they're also citing expansive region expansion for lower bandwidth and lease line costs and the impact of the corporate recovery and tax incentive for enterprise law. I would agree with all of these. So for Converge, yes, I'm very happy and I'm bullish of the people who have invested in Converge. So you did well. You've got a broadband that's doing well, and you're so far double, right? So the IPO was something here in about 16, 14 peso. Now, actually, I think the IPO was 16.8. Initially, there was people saying that it was expensive. Now, there's no such thing as expensive if you are proving and executing that growth wave. So far, I think that it's just really momentum going all-time highs now. It's just been doing that, you know. So ever since earnings results here in August, it just keeps on pumping up. 24 to 32, that's like, how much is that? 30% up, right? 24 to 32, 24 plus 12 is 36. So assume a 50% resistance first from the people who bought the earnings call. And some resistance perhaps here at 36. But I'd say that people are very bullish such that dips will be definitely having a lot of buyer here at 24 to 28. That's for your Converge. Now let's take a look at your PLDT. PLDT has actually been on a good reversal. You could see that this is going to continue higher, and with more mobile penetration, especially an expansion on broadband connectivity in the entire Philippines, we see this as an essential product. So PLDT could potentially hit as high as 1819, first resistance here, even 17, but definitely a lot of support here at 14. So we are already moving into momentum zone for PLDT as people are paying for the growth waves of your telecoms. So PLDT from value now becoming growth. For those who invested early on here to 1,800, of course, you're going to make about 90% above, 1,000 to 19, plus the happy dividends. Can you imagine just earning 8% every single year on your dividends alone from your PLDT? With rising income, rising revenues equals rising cash dividends. Globe, what's happening here? There's a spin-off, right, of the cash, Gcash, probably next year slated. And then they're also planning to introduce cryptocurrency trading inside Gcash. So definitely, you never know. Maybe Union Bank will also introduce cryptocurrency trading inside Union Bank. You never know. It could happen. So I'm saying that Globe here is a definitive breakout, definitely 2-2, rally to about 3,000 for your support on Globe. I've been saying that 2.4 to 2.6 is a flag mode. So definitely any dips of Globe will be bought in the short term, as people are looking forward to seeing the fintech unit of Globe, which is Mint Financial, to be unlocked. So in the Philippines, Globe, PLDT have more leeway to go up. Abotiz 70 Ventures, Union Bank, these are growth companies in the Philippines converge. Now, for Dito Telecom, I think the problem with Dito is just the dilution. Right now, we don't know how much will be diluted. There is a positive wave, of course, for telecoms, but the reason why Dito Telecom is down from about 18 to 8, and actually it's down, could fall to about 7 or 6. But I would assume that you just need clarity. How much debt will Dito incur? How much dilution will happen for the shares to be unlocked? For people to actually understand when would Dito be profitable? Because Converge is profitable, Globe is profitable, PLDT is profitable. This is the unprofitable telecom so far. Well, because they have to spend a lot in infrastructure. Okay, aside from that, what else should we know about? Let's take a look if you've got questions. Comments? Sheshe, hi. Can you take a glimpse of Ayala Land and the property stocks? Based on their graph last year, there's been a dip every September, and then it rallies all the way towards December. Okay, so real estate is a matter of recovery. So if we are seeing that by next year, we could assume that commercial space will grow. So you're asking me property stocks like Ayala Land, SM Prime. Let's take a look at the charts first. Okay, so this is really a clear reopening sign. In the US, department stores have had some foot traffic, but I don't think in the Philippines we could see that because COVID cases here are still spiking. So the market is still invested more into the digital infrastructure essentials. Ika nga, mas importante internet sa Pilipinas kaysa kumain. So it's a utility stock. That's why these PLDT and Globe are growing and still growing. Okay, with your question, sige, let's answer that. Ayala Land, okay. Ayala Land is now trading at 33. It's stuck in a range. I would say that the market is a little bit somber here. They're not bearish on Ayala Land. Definitely, they like the management of Ayala Land. They like how it's being managed. But the problem lang is the market situation. Properties is in a dilemma because real estate sales have been halted. Less people, it's not because there's no demand for housing. People will always want homes and ownership of homes. But I think the property retail sales, real estate sales would be a little bit delayed because people need to save up. So I'm not sure how brisk the real estate sales of condo units are for Ayala Land or housing. But definitely right now, all I could see for Ayala is, well, it's got a support at $30 and a lot of resistance at 37. So I don't see much growth here. In terms of real estate, we might have to assume that if we have a reopening, then your commercial spaces will continue to grow. But it's really a question, no? So that's the dilemma that Robinson's Land, Mega World, they're trying to prove that for their REIT investors, that commercial space leasing is going to grow in the future. So it's a question in the future, not in the near term. I don't see a pattern here except that it's still in a range wherein you've got the support at 15 and 16, a lot of resistance at 22 for Robinson's Land. SM Prime, let's take a look at that. Ganun din, just stuck in a trading range. You've got the property, of course, but if the property cannot collect rent, there's nothing much in terms of profitability. So SM Prime is still sleeping here at 33, a lot of resistance at 39. I wouldn't be so sure that 33 will be supported, could even go to 29 or 30 or 31. I'm not that sure about properties. Okay, there was a question, what do you think about All HC? All HC right now is trading, all-time highs. But this one has to do with industrial parks, right? So logistics, e-commerce. If they have 99% expansion into the e-commerce front, maybe that's the solution that Ayala Land thinks about real estate companies in general, like warehouses. So the market already paid it up, right? From about 160 to as high as 5 pesos. And then the other question, let's just read through the news. FGen, common shares, right? So the tender offer is 30% higher. Let's just read the news. Saan nga ba yun? I think first gen tender offer. Let's just read this. After a surprise tender offer, Singapore Group is going to acquire 5.7% of First Gen for 6.76 billion pesos. So notice that EDC was privatized. First Gen is also now going to be privatized. So the Singapore Group is definitely bullish on clean energy. That's why they're privatizing these assets. They're going to pay a total of 33 pesos per share for a total of 6.76 billion. It already received an offer to buy 205 million shares at 33 pesos. Valorous is already an owner of 12.5%, led by KKR Asia Pacific Infrastructure. Valorous advised by Colbert Kravis, KKR. So First Philippine Holdings of the Lopez Group owns majority of First Gen. Company officers, directors owns 0.86%. Okay, so let's take a look whether FPH rallied on behalf of this news. Let's go to the news. So FGen paying 33 pesos. So some people will still buy 31, 32 so that they could sell it at 33. And then FPH owns for First Gen. So this one didn't rally, but it could perhaps go above to about 85 based on the back of the news that they own 70% stake or 68% stake of First Gen. So yan, umangat naman na siya, but it could just go higher. Yun. So that's just the news for you. Thank you very much for watching Awesome 10X Philippine Market Update. See you again, guys, next Wednesday. So every Wednesday, we give Philippine market updates, and then every Friday, we give global market updates for the deep dives, either deep dives or just general news. So I hope you learned something today, and see you again tomorrow. Next week, next Wednesday na for the Philippines, or Friday for global. Salamat for watching.